courtroom in New York for the trial that had to happen, the People versus Amy Fisher. She's an attempted murderer.
In the city of New York, the scandal of Amy Fisher became one of the senior sagas to hit the news in the last 10 years. Now, when Miss Fisher copped the plea and went to jail, she robbed the public of a trial, leaving behind many men who outlined the defense for Amy Fisher. Marvin Kornberg, the attorney for Mary Jo Buttafuoco and Joey Buttafuoco, will outline the prosecution. Now, when Hollywood made no less than 3 movies on the subject, 126 million Americans watched. But this is not Hollywood. This is a real courtroom. No scriptwriters here. The words you hear tonight will be the actual words that were spoken by the main players in this ongoing drama. And now, the trial of Amy Fisher.
Order in the court.
Evil person, you deserve this. Joey seemed to have everything under control.
Order. Come to order.
I will have Mary Jo testify as to what happened, the fact that she subsequently went to a lineup, that she picked Amy Fisher out of a lineup. I would then have her identify Amy Fisher in the courtroom as the person who shot her on that day.
On May 19th, Amy Fisher came to my home, rang my doorbell, and viciously and deliberately assaulted me on the front porch of my home. I was left for dead with a .25 caliber bullet lodged in my head about 1 inch from my spinal cord. Here's where the bullet went in. They had to cut me open, dislocate my jaw. They had to slice me here. I'm in a lot of pain. I am in pain every day.
There's really no doubt about what happened. I mean, obviously Amy Fisher had a gun. That gun was used to shoot Mary Jo Buttafuoco one way or the other. The real issue here is what is this really all about? We're looking at the tip of an iceberg.
I have learned that Amy Fisher not only shot me on May 19th, but also conspired to, and in fact attempted to murder me on 2 prior occasions. There is evidence that an axe was purchased by Amy Fisher, not only for the purpose of killing, but for the unforgivable purpose of killing my children. I want to know why. Is she so intent on hurting me and hurting my children and even hurting my husband with the lies that she has spun, with the tales that she has spun about my husband? Why?
The next witness is Stephen Sleeman.
I would have him testify as to how he had a sexual affair or many sexual affairs with Amy Fisher for the purpose of getting the gun.
She kept saying she definitely wanted Mrs. Buttafuoco, you know, someone to shoot his wife. Then she looks at me and says, I want you to shoot his wife. Then she says, I could stab her, that she could stab her. And I looked at her like, what are you going to stab her with, a kitchen knife? I looked at her, she was crazy. I thought she was nuts. But then she said, I could get a hatchet.
I would call the first people at the scene. For example, the first police officer at the scene.
On May 21, 1992, Nassau County Police picked up Amy Fisher as she was driving her 1990 Chrysler LeBaron on Merrick Road and arrested her for the attempted murder of Mary Jo Buttafuoco. On August 10, we recovered the weapon, a .25 caliber pistol, from a storm drain near Amy Fisher's home. Your Honor, I was present the day that Amy Fisher made a statement to the fact that she had shot Mrs. Buttafuoco.
Is Amy Fisher here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Could you please point her out?
That is Amy Fisher.
Now, Amy Fisher takes the stand and makes allegations that cast a cloud over the ongoing drama.
I'm not asking for sympathy. I just want to tell the people my story because they heard everybody else's story. I just want them to know the truth.
And what is the truth?
The truth is everything I'm telling you. That I had an affair with Joe Buttafuoco for 10 months. That he wanted his wife dead, and he tried to get me to carry that out for him.
How do I get 12 people on a jury to come to the conclusion that they can trust and believe what Amy Fisher says as true?
Attorney Lawrence Hochheiser is outlining the defense for Amy Fisher.
The young kid doesn't just go out and shoot someone in the neck for nothing. This isn't a crime for profit. This isn't sticking up a gas station and killing somebody.
He said he didn't want to deal with her anymore, and that we would be together. And I listened.
Marvin Kornberg, the attorney for Mary Jo and Joey Buttafuoco, is outlining the prosecution.
If Amy Fisher attempted to use as a defense the Joey made me do it defense, if you will, that she was counseled by Joe into doing this, I would move that the judge rule that that type of evidence is inadmissible. And I would argue that it is not a defense to murder.
Objection, Your Honor. Overruled at this time. I'd like to hear what the witness has to say.
Well, so far we've seen Mary Jo Buttafuoco describe the agony of her wounds. We've seen Amy Fisher take the stand in her defense, and there's much more to come.
Next on a Current Affair Extra, the verdict is in. Amy Fisher hears the jury's decision.
Will the defendant please rise? How do you find the defendant, Amy Fisher, guilty or not guilty?
That's next. And later, find out why the Motion Picture Academy may be presenting this woman with a lawsuit.
I certainly don't hate the Academy Awards at all. I don't care about them one bit.
Plus, he's the groom that got goosed by an uninvited guest.
And the neck is this long, and the beak must be this long, opening like this, going through your eyes.
If you have exclusive home videotape you think we should see, you can call us at 1-800-WE-SAW-IT. That's 1-800-WE-SAW-IT.
Cows from all over the country make milk and dairy products, but Washington cows make something special. Delicious Washington milk, and that makes the best quality dairy products. So next time, don't look any farther than your own backyard. In fact, just look for the pride mark of the dairy farmers of Washington.
Time for TCI's February campaign. We need great ideas this year. Okay, let's hear them. Let's hear them. How about insults throwing 995 would be good.
Insults, 995.
Yes. No, 995. Okay, wait. We need another idea. We need one more. Do you think any two premium services for the price of one would be good?
Maybe services for the price of what?
Yeah, I like it. It was my idea. Shut up, George. Chuck.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you standing outside of DB's Family Restaurant?
Well, I reckon they don't like my manners.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I was eating and shouting and spitting and food is flying all over the place. Broke the window across the way.
Yes, folks, come on into DB's Family Restaurant and you'll eat and shout. Well, eat it up, baby, now. Eat it up, baby. DB's Family Restaurant. They'll have you eating and shouting.
Yeah, just make sure you ain't eating and shouting at the same time.
Hey,
Huh?
you hear that?
What?
It's quiet. There's no coughing.
Oh,
What'd you give her?
something new.
Really? Where'd you get it?
Painless drugs. The pharmacist recommended it.
Well, that's what I call a good pharmacist.
Uh-huh.
Maybe now she'll get some sleep.
Lucky her.
What do you mean?
Honey.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night.
Payless, the drugstore worth talking about.
Hard copy, weekdays at 4:30.
A scandalous royal wedding for the falling House of Windsor, coming up on Extra.
Lower back pain.
neck pain, upper back pain. There are all kinds of back pain. Doan's relieves them all with an ingredient these brands don't have. Relieve back pain with Doan's, the back specialist.
I think it's healthy for a man to make friends with a washing machine.
We designed Whirlpool washers, so just about anyone in the family can use them.
I don't ask him to do a wash-off, and so when he does, I want to be sure it's done right.
Whirlpool washers have a self-balancing system to help prevent most lopsided loads from stopping in mid-cycle.
I never got any help. I was born too early.
Whirlpool, how to make a home run.
A cold isn't always just here. Sinuses can get congested, too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus. One ingredient for aches and pains, another for sinus congestion. It's all connected.
Advil Cold and Sinus, advanced formula for the cold season.
The evidence is in. Amy's back in the hot seat, and Jo Buttafuoco strikes back. Now, Steve Dunleavy takes us back inside the courtroom for the compelling conclusion of the People versus Amy Fisher.
Here's where the bullet went in. They had to cut me open.
I had an affair with Joey Buttafuoco for 10 months. That he wanted his wife dead. Joey seemed to have everything under control. He explained to me that nothing could go wrong. He also explained to me that this wasn't like killing and that I was doing it for him. And that his wife was an evil person and she deserved this. I went to hit her on the back of the head. I hit her again and the gun went off. I just ran away. If I could make her pain go away, if I could change things, I would. If I could just put my hand over her face and make it go away, I would. Her entire family and my entire family have been absolutely destroyed.
Do you deserve to be punished?
Absolutely. I didn't mean to do it, but I still did it, and I know I have to be punished.
She'd be faced with the, on the question of credibility, she would be faced with her tapes that have been shown in the various media.
How many men did you sleep with?
About 20.
Over the course of how long?
6 months.
Have business, and we don't worry about business, and we take care of ourselves.
I had an ability to just develop this defense mechanism and put up walls. And I could do that, and I could just take a shower and just go like this and act like nothing was wrong.
After Amy Fisher's testimony, the defense calls Joey Buttafuoco.
And has zero credibility. She knows that. I know she's a liar. I know she has no credibility. She's a tramp, a prostitute, a slut, and an attempted murderer. That's what Amy Fisher is.
Attorney Lawrence Hockheiser outlines the defense for Amy Fisher.
Was there romance? Was there sex? What kind of romance? What kind of sex between a grown man and a young kid like this? These are the questions that I would explore at a trial.
No question about it. We were friends. Over a year, we were doing repair work on a car. And business for the family. We did develop a friendship. But I have not been charged with any crime. That's number one. But number two, there are a group of people that are going to believe always what they want to believe. Nothing that I say or do will change that. And I can deal with that. It's just a shame that they're making this shooting an affair between Amy Fisher and I, when the real crime here is that Amy Fisher shot Mary Jo. That's the issue.
Despite the denials, there is one outstanding question. Hotel receipts, which purport to show that Joey Buttafuoco met Amy Fisher at a local motel.
And the motel. I mean, after all, did this happen or didn't it happen?
Marvin Kornberg, Joey Buttafuoco's attorney, outlines the prosecution of Amy Fisher.
Assuming they put Joe Buttafuoco on the stand, assuming they showed Joe Buttafuoco the hotel receipts, and Joe Buttafuoco denied that those hotel receipts are his, they're bound by that answer. They can't go beyond that answer.
I never had an affair with Amy Fisher. I never slept with Amy Fisher. She's a liar. And she's sick.
My job as a defense attorney is to recognize that whether a person is a prostitute, whatever she is, she's still a human being, and she still deserves some measure of compassion, some measure of understanding.
You would have to tell a jury that keep your eye on the ball, so to speak. The Joey made me do it is not a defense to the crime of attempted murder.
The trial of Amy Fisher. You've heard the prosecution. The prosecution rests. You've heard the defense rests. And now, the destiny of Amy Fisher, the Long Island Lolita.
Has the jury agreed upon a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor. Will the foreman please rise? Will the defendant please rise? How do you find the defendant, Amy Fisher, guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
Order. Come to order. I'm sure the next thing we'll see is Amy Fisher's memoirs or something like that.
She's probably writing one right now. And, you know, it will, more than likely, will sell.
Well, she's got plenty of time on her hands, as we all know.
The royal family's plunge into marital scandal began long before Diana and Charles so sweetly.